She kept talking about it. She may be our favorite talk host or guest host.
Oh, that's sweet.
Emmy?
I guess like if it continues, I'm going to need a new co-host.
Emmy?
She would love it. Well, Mom,
this is the nepotism podcast.
Nepotism cast. Yeah. Emmy, tell me what the sermon was about. I don't know. I didn't listen. You were boring.
Oh, okay.
That's what she would say.
That's what she.
That's the extent of it. Yeah.
Sounds great.
I don't know what mine was apparently boring because I don't know what was going on over.
There's a lot happening.
Yeah, there was something dropped, and then I was like, okay,
happening.
one thing dropped, and then something else dropped, and then something else dropped, and I was like, okay, what is something?
It was probably my children.
I think
Your
it was.
children were like they were all spread out over there. Like
that's like the it's like the kids' little like refugee camp. Like they are like, well, we have to be here with our parents.
Yeah,
but they'll do that. But then you see them, and I think I've brought this up before that they'll like when Beckett. Alyssa's son, they'll be coloring and they're goofing off. But then when the doxology comes on, he's sitting there singing it.
Yeah.
He's singing it. Like,
they're like, oh, it's the affirmation of faith. We're all saying it. You know?
That part they know. That part they know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the Next Day podcast.
The next day on your discipleship journey.
I'm Chad.
I'm Christy.
And we're joined by the ever so lovely, wonderful, wickedly talented Sable. Whatever. Your name is?
I'm Sable McKelvin.
Yay!
It's Chad's wife.
I know.
Yay!
And she came on here to unleash all the dirt.
Right at the end.
Yes. For the last one.
She's like, y'all have no idea what he does, what he's really like. He's like, no, in real life, he hates puns.
He's so quiet when he's at home. Just doesn't say a word.
He's just quiet. He does his woodworking and he just does his he trades stocks.
He actually doesn't like The Simpsons. He does not like The Simpsons.
He just watches C-SPAN.
Yeah.
He's actually been a method actor this whole time. This is a character. His
That's
name isn't even Chad.
Yeah. It's a social experiment. Yeah.
I don't know. I guess what you see is what you get. So
pretty much.
It never helps whenever people see me and they meet Sable and they always say, "Well, Chad, like you dated up," or what is it like?
So
you,
unfair.
yeah, you went. I was like, "Well, what am I?" Like,
No,
I think we're equally yoked. I think we are.
Maybe, but anyway. No, I never get compliments on my appearance and how I dress.
Okay, it's just that Sable looks like a supermodel.
Yeah, she does.
Okay, and
very sweet. You're
very
sweet.
fashionable. And now the plaid is fashionable. It's the plaid, Chad and the plaid.
Yeah,
it's fashionable.
You have a signature look.
It's a signature look.
Yes. You have a signature look.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think so.
No, I love your response though, Sable. Like when people, because I've been like, man, Chad, you like knocked it out of the park, and you're always like, I didn't do so bad either.
Yeah.
You know, it's very sweet. What a good. Well, she's a very caring wife. What a good wife. You did great. See?
Oh yeah, I did.
You did great. You did great.
We all did great. We all did. Great.
I'll take the credit for this. As a guy, I'll take
all
the
Go
credit.
ahead and take it. Yeah.
Well, no, this is the y'all. This is our last Next Day podcast, at least for the time being. Who knows if it gets revived later on here at St. Peter's or something. But this is our last one. This is my last one here doing this. Uh-oh, Chrissy's crying again. I'm surprised you did as well as you did.
I am too.
During the service. Because it was my last Sunday, and there's a special blessing, which I did want to throw in there during that special. And I said, don't watch the hair. Or I was talking about Sable. Y'all don't touch her hair. Don't.
And no one did.
Yeah.
No one did.
I was waiting for some hand to just cover my head.
I didn't.
Yeah.
No.
Nobody did it.
No,
I didn't want to make it weird, you know?
Yeah, that would have been very odd.
Yeah.
Very odd.
But this is our last Sunday, but then it's also our last Next Day podcast. And And then the This Day podcast, I got a little emotional on Friday when I scheduled the rest of them. So to June 30th, and I scheduled the last one. So y'all, you can still hear my voice and Randy Baker's voice all the way to June 30th. If you want to listen to that podcast, and that last one does have a special episode. Like I wrote the devotional, and it's pretty much saying "Good riddance, bye everybody." No, I'm outie. No,
I'm outie.
No, but yeah. So if y'all haven't listened to that, go ahead and do it. But then and then in terms of, we've already said this, the future of the other podcasts. You know, I think Christy and other clergy here are cooking on something. Like I knew there will be something.
There'll be something.
It's just kind of be patient and just wait, and yeah.
But it will never be quite the same.
No.
Without Chad.
But this is the podcast where we're going to talk about the sermons you got to hear on Sunday. If you were at West Campus, you got to hear Paige, I believe, right?
That's right.
Yeah, Paige.
So it was their VBS Sunday.
Yes, that was it.
So she preached, and I think they had a bunch of kids' songs and things like that from VBS. So, yeah.
Did they do the church clap, you think?
I hope
do you
so.
think they did? Because they did that like every day.
I
sure do. Clap.
I sure do love that song.
Yeah.
Catchy.
It's a pretty simple song.
It is.
Yeah.
The church clap.
Oh yeah. Anyways, but then you got to hear Christy at traditional service.
That's right.
Fancy. And
fancy.
I was at the Element.
Ooh, very fancy.
Very fancy. But let's get to, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a good, how do you do an icebreaker on like the last time we're doing this? I mean,
best podcast moment.
I don't know if Sable, if she would know of one.
I can't think of one.
She's like, I know my other podcast.
Yeah.
Sable was on podcast before I was. She was asked to be
yeah.
like guest, like speaker for for several like different other ones, using her doctorate and using her other expertise and all that.
Yeah, mental health stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't think I have one for you guys. You guys kind of discuss it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite moments?
I don't know.
I asked the question. And
I mean, for the next day, having the bishop on was really cool. Like, I don't think people,
I was so shocked.
I don't think people understand, like, she is down to earth. So don't think that she's not approachable or anything. Like, it's not that.
Not
She's
all
very
bishops
lovely.
are down to earth.
That is true. That is true. But, so she is down to earth. And I want to say that just because of her stature, she's quite short. But she's down to earth. But she's busy. And this is before she took on 2 conferences, but she's still super busy. And I'm glad that I asked her in a little bit in advance about it. Because I just threw it out there. Hey, just checking. Was this something you should be interested in? When I got that reply saying, yeah, we'd like to try this. I was like, oh, really?
That was like so shocking to me because I'm like, I think our podcast is pretty great, but like nobody, like it's a St. Peter's specific, to St. Peter's. But she had been preaching here that Sunday, and so we were like, might as well just ask.
Yeah,
it was just shocking that she was just like willing to lower herself.
Well, no, it's all about trying something new, though, too.
Yeah.
This is a way to reach people in a different way that maybe she hadn't really thought about, and she was willing to take the time to try it out at least, which is great.
It was very cool.
And I think we kept to the same kind of feel with it too, because I know I was still throwing out sponsors. I was just doing and if a song popped in my head, I was like, I'm not changing anything for her.
No.
Like we met on Zoom, so that was a difference. But like other than that, like it was still. I'm really glad, and that still was like, I don't know, I need to check if that's still our most listened to Next Day podcast. Mainly because when she did that, I shared that with lots of people, just saying, "Hey, check it out, the bishop was on here."
Yeah.
So that was a cool moment.
That was. I don't know what else what else do you have?
I mean, anytime Morris was on, I don't think anyone loved the podcast more than Morris. Like
Morris was great.
He was interim, and I think he was just like, well, this is something I can do.
Yeah, it was like we invited him like anytime you're preaching, you can come be on the podcast. And he was like, well, I'll be here every Monday. So
yeah, he really did. He was just kind of regular. And then, and other people, it was just, their schedules, it's just hard. It's been hard for them to do it. I mean, there's really not a time that Preston's not meeting with somebody. So that's why if y'all haven't heard Preston too much, he's meeting with church members constantly, and he's meeting in groups and all that. So it's been hard for him to do that. But I know, but Morris was just constantly on, love sharing his stories and things like that.
Which I appreciated. I think that was so fun.
Yeah. And it was last year. We're not going to do it this year, but last year around this time when we had, the students from Bridge, we had a special episode and they shared their experience from Bridge, and we just got finished with that last week. That's why, if you didn't see me on church on Sunday, because we were at Central UMC and doing worship there. So
I think just anytime we've had guests on the podcast, all different times.
Oh, we had
Shayna.
Yeah,
yes,
Shayna and her. That was a powerful episode. I just remember. Oh, I love this, that she's able to talk more about this and her story and everything.
Yeah, that was really cool. Having Randy Baker on was fun. I gotta say, having Emmy on, that was recent. Yeah, that was her. I mean, that was a highlight to her for sure. But that was fun. And anyway, anytime we've had, even the other pastors,
Wacky Shannon.
Oh, Wacky Shannon.
Wacky Shannon will give the traffic
reports,
and
the weather reports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in the helicopter.
It's so good.
Cute. Very cute.
Yeah.
But no, that was all, Yesley being on it, Carl.
We've
had so many, and children's ministry people after VBS. It's just always been fun to just sit there and do all this. And sometimes they really would, because Shannon would be like, well, I didn't really... listen to the sermons, but okay. And she would chime in with great stuff.
I feel like it's always it's been a low key, kind of fun time to just have conversations, and we're talking about stuff that even if you didn't listen to the sermon, you can still join in the conversation. So, and
I cannot tell y'all how much it means to Christy and I whenever we would get random emails, and it's not comments about anything theological we're talking, or even about our sermon. Sometimes, I guess. But most of the time, it's over wherever the dang icebreaker is. Yes. And if people were like, oh, yeah, me too. Hey, what about this? I'll never forget. This is probably one of the first emails I got. I think it was from Sean Rooney. We were talking about our dream cars as a very early one. And I was talking about Jurassic Park and that vehicle. Yes. And Sean Rooney, he sent me a picture of him going, hey, look, I was somewhere and here's your dream car. And he was right there. I was like, yes.
I love it.
Because first I didn't know he'd listen.
I know, it's always a surprise. You'll get an email or a text from someone, and it's we'll get it about the podcast. And we're like, oh, another listener, we just had no idea. But that's always really cool. I agree.
Yeah. And so that there is, if you look up the podcast and you see the update, and it's about the podcast ending, you could look for that episode. There is still the survey y'all can fill out that lets us know a little bit more about how you listen and other things like that could be helpful to us. Some people have already filled it out. Some church members, and quite almost half of the people who filled it out are not in the state. Now, when I say half, it's still a small number of people who did the survey. But still, I'm amazed at how many people have been out of state who aren't a part of St. Peter's, and yet they listen, whether to the next day or maybe they just listen to the This Day podcast. And so
I just think it's so cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's a really unique reach that we can have with it. So. Yeah. Thanks for all your support.
I know. This has been a lot of fun. So we'll see. Again, we'll see what the future holds for all of this. So Who knows? But let's get to talking about the next day and talking about the sermons we got to hear. I know Sable was crying all through mine, so she didn't.
Not all through it, just 2 minutes.
Was it really?
2 minutes.
There was 2 minutes of it?
2 minutes.
Okay,
of it. Yeah.
All right. But we are in this sermon series, Step Right Up. It's the VBS theme, and we've just been looking at different things, important things in our faith, important things for us to remember and to know. And so this one was all about thank God for forgiveness. And we looked at a psalm. That's how I pronounce it. A psalm.
Get ready, bowling in Van
I
Vleck.
know. Do you know how? Do you know how you can never tell if a psalmist is using the restroom? Because the P is silent.
You saved it for the last one.
Ayo!
That's
Ayo!
you're a special guy.
Yeah, maybe. But we did. Here's the fun thing, and I meant to message people who I know listen to the podcast, or whatever, or some of the clergy. But Psalm 32 was no joke. It was the psalm on Friday's This Day podcast.
No way.
This day, because I decided to listen to it, and I heard the psalm. It says today's psalm is Psalm 32. I was like, no way! I was like, what? And I did not plan that. It's just that's the time of the
devotional.
It always shows up at that time.
So cool.
So it was cool. And as I was listening to it, it gave me more time to reflect on the sermon on that I've been preparing.
Which
and all that.
Psalm 32 is intended to be a reflective, like contemplative kind of psalm. Anytime you see the Selah, you know, in there, it's like meant for you to kind of pause and take it in, and think about all of the contemplate all of that.
Which I did that during the element. I
did
the pauses between verses.
Nice.
So people familiar with it this day would be like, "Oh yeah, that's just how you read a psalm."
Did you warn them that they were gonna be pauses?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I let them know.
Otherwise, they're like, "Is he okay?"
Oh, he's getting choked up.
We're not. We're not used.
Poor guy.
They're not used to this.
No, but I do remember early years of coming, or when I say early years, 3 years ago, when we started This Day, I was doing like little test runs, and I created like the first kind of rough draft of an episode, and I shared it with people. And I remember Christy specifically said, I love the psalm. like you said that in the text message. You like how I broke up the psalm.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, I love that. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to keep that.
Yeah.
But Psalm 32, so it's believed to be written by David, right?
Yes,
and it's also called how do you say it? Maskil? A maskil?
I don't know. I think you're saying it great.
Yeah.
But it means that like contemplative, like
and it's a teaching, like it's a poem, but it's also could be used for teaching you about stuff.
Right.
Like,
it's a wisdom psalm because it's like it starts with blessed are those or happy are those. So it's like, the wisdom that leads to that kind of life of being happy.
Yeah. But it's a psalm talking about forgiveness and everything. So Christy, you were in the traditional service. So what can you tell us about yours?
Well, it was kind of a broad spectrum of things because forgiveness
does not come easy to Christy.
It does not.
Do not cross her.
That's right. Man. I would argue forgiveness doesn't come easily to anyone. It is very difficult, but it's not one-sided. And that's like the one thing, where you have to take forgiveness looking at it from both sides. Because you have we are forgiven. And so our Christian approach to understanding forgiveness starts with God's forgiveness of us. And then we are also...
I'm forgiven because you were forsaken. I'm accepted. You were condemned.
I'm alive.
Okay,
all right.
The Spirit lives within me because you died and rose again.
All right. We have to cut it off.
Everybody.
Going. Oh my gosh.
Amazing love. How can it be?
It's good. I mean, it all fits. Anyway.
You, my Lord, die. Okay.
This is his last one. I guess I should let him finish it.
You're letting him go.
Amazing Lord.
The straw.
That sounds like a
instrument.
donkey.
Yeah, it does.
Mine doesn't quite do that.
Yeah, yours is pretty low.
Anyway, so forgiveness, right? It starts with God's forgiveness.
Forgive me for derailing.
I forgive
Forgiveness
you.
in action.
Okay.
Begins with God's love, God's forgiveness, and then because of that, we then have this model for what our forgiveness of others ought to be like and ought to look like. And transforms our life. And so anyway, we've been going through all these very basic concepts, right? Forgiveness is sort of a basic concept in in Christianity.
Yeah.
Like it's one of our like core.
It's a big part of it. Yeah. And I stressed that in mine too. I was just like, y'all, this is a big part. Like, I don't know how, I can't speak for the much on like other world religions, but in Christianity, like forgiveness is a huge part of what we believe.
It's like we would not, our faith would not look the same at all without forgiveness. And that's like in both ways, in our understanding of ourselves and how we look in the eyes of God, and also how we can look at other people, right? And how our relationship with others. So big deal in the Christian world. So obviously, like, you know, we're going through the VBS curriculum. We've talked about that. And so like, I keep putting an emphasis on like, these are basic things. Like we have 4 days in VBS with kids, 4 days to hopefully set a foundation of transformation in their life. Like hopefully after these 4 days, like that's our prayer, that these kids walk away and they're like, man, like God loves me and God wants me to love other people, you know, like these very foundational things. God forgave me. God forgives me. And I, you know, if I confess my sin, if I like own up to the things, the bad choices that I've made in life, that like, I don't have to hide in that like fear of what I've done forever. I don't have to live there. Like God forgives. God has already forgiven me. And then I ought to forgive others, right? So like, it's these really basic concepts, but like I keep coming back to in this sermon series, how important it is for the church to remember this stuff. Like if we can get like super theologically deep. We can like get all, you know, in our heads in all the like theological stuff. And, you know, we can get political with it. We can get, you know, I mean, it'll lead us to all sorts of, you know, like sides of issues. And like, I mean, we can form opinions about these higher, you know, concepts of things. But if we forget about these 4 days of VBS and the things that the kids are learning, then like we've missed the point. Yeah. Like that is so basic to our faith. And I don't mean basic in like a bad, like it's so basic, but
it's a foundational part.
Yeah. You can't like I said, our Christian life would not even look like the Christian walk if we didn't have these core things, you know?
I don't know why that always reminds me of, I've used this as an illustration now. It's definitely dated illustration because I used to share this with students of like, do you remember the TV Guide channel?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But you know what? Okay. Let me tell you though, I didn't have the TV Guide channel, Chad, because I didn't have cable.
You didn't have TV.
Yeah, so I didn't have, we didn't need it. We only had like channel 13, 11, 5.
But this always reminds me of, because as I would guess I was odd when I was younger, because I would watch the TV Guide channel, not just to see what's on, but I would just watch it. Watch movie previews, watch it. But music. Then eventually over the years, that TV Guide channel, the section that had the scrolling channels so you could see what's on, they reduced it to being very minimal. And then here's like, they would show like TV shows and all this, and they would show other stuff. And I'm like, well, I can't see what, and eventually they just it turned into like more of a little ticker. It was so tiny, I couldn't even read it. I was like, you're on the TV Guide channel. Like you're missing the point. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. Right, and I've always thought of that, like with our faith, like if we like, this is what we do. We do this. Like, don't be like that and they just lose their way.
Right.
You know,
you're not even the TV Guide anymore.
Yeah, what the heck? But now if I mention that, people are like, what? What's that?
No one knows what you're talking about.
I know. Now even if they have cable or anything, there's always some channel option. Like,
yeah, so I could use it. I could still use a TV Guide though, because sometimes I'm like, I don't know how to navigate a smart TV.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do I do here? Why all of a sudden I'm on the internet? What happened? You know? But yeah. So like these basic concepts, but they're so big and important. So forgiveness being one of them. Like, I mean, I've definitely focused a lot on just how we are forgiven, and talked about, you know, like the Psalm of David. Like this is, scholarship, a lot of scholarship believes that this psalm is written in basically like David's continuing processing in response to the Bathsheba incident.
Sable's favorite movie.
Yep.
Yes. Yes, we talked about that.
Is it just called
It's David and Bathsheba. It's
Okay.
my favorite religious movie.
Oh, really? More than the Ten Commandments.
It's close. It's close.
Sable
That
likes
is good.
all the. I don't know if you
do.
call them bad or good, but just the old timey religious
50s,
movies.
60s religious
Yeah.
movies.
I've got
They're
to,
so
I gotta,
great.
I gotta like go do some research. I've never
so
seen,
great.
I've never seen David and Bathsheba.
Yeah, Gina Lola Brigida. I can't remember the year. It's got to be mid to late 60s. It's got to be. But yeah.
Man, I wonder how they portrayed that whole situation. I feel that they may have not done it.
Probably
justice
not.
to
I
the
don't
true
think
story.
I don't think it's biblically accurate.
No,
if you're
it's
looking
just
for
they-
accuracy, that's not.
They
not
take
the
a
movie.
lot of because
Liberties,
the story is not the longest story to read. So it's like they
Yeah,
got to
they
fill in a
expanded-
movie.
they expanded
and knowing
upon
those
it,
movies,
yeah.
they got to be at least 3 hours long.
Well,
right?
and that's the
So-
thing. They have to
just
like,
an hour and a half.
they've got to, they have not that much to go off of. Really.
Yeah.
They have to take
Yeah.
creative license with some of the stuff. So I
Exactly,
understand
yeah.
that, but yeah. So the situation, I did not really go into great detail with the situation. It's just David taking a lot of.
Did you do the children's moment? Now y'all see, there's a girl. She was
gosh.
bathing on the roof.
Oh gosh.
And David was like, "Hey, good looking. What you got cooking?"
And this is
And
why we
then-
have indoor showers.
Yeah, this is exactly why.
Yeah, no, I didn't really like go into it, but basically like that is the story that this psalm is in response to.
Yeah.
And I imagine, like, I don't know the timestamp on this, but I imagine that David would come back to this over and over again in his life because it was like a really big deal, right? Like he ultimately, like, God could have been like, you no longer can be king.
Yeah.
And also you're going to now suffer the consequences, which is like you killed a man.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to now also
Yeah.
lose your life, right?
Yeah.
And there were consequences. Like he very much had like natural consequences with this, but was shown like just amazing mercy from God. And so in this, I love this psalm because it's like you don't get this in the narrative.
Yeah.
You don't get this.
It's just it's very vague.
Yeah, it's like this happened, this happened. And in the writing, in Samuel, it's like it doesn't really tell you how he's feeling. Like you don't get that. So like the psalm is sort of like this inside look
Yeah.
at David's feelings during all of this. And so I love that, it's like I was basically like I'm holding on to this and my bones are withering away inside of me. Like he's just like
While I kept silent, my body wasted away
Yes.
through my groaning all day long. Yeah.
Yes, like it's just like and I feel that, right? Like the thing that you are holding on to that is just eating you up inside.
Yeah.
And I love how relatable it is because we might have experienced this in varying degrees. Like maybe you didn't do something quite like David did, but there's people that have experienced great sin in their life or it's like an addiction or trauma in their life, like just anything that you are holding on to, bitterness, right? Like anything you're holding on to that is like it just eats away at you because you will not let it go, and it's like festering, right? So like that's sort of this thing that he's describing. And so I see this as like clenched fists. I have this like image of like clenched fists in my head. And ultimately what forgiveness does is like it all goes away, right? Like once you David says like that he confessed his sins to God.
Yeah.
He came clean, that like all of a sudden his fists are unclenched. He lives with he's open. Like there's nothing hiding, and he can breathe again. He's free. It's like the instant, in an instant that it all just changes, right? So I love that like comparison. I talked about also jumped ahead to a story that they're using in VBS. a different story. Also,
it doesn't deal with adultery and all. Oh wait.
Yes, it does.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes. Now
it's not a VBS without an adultery story.
That's right. We always got to do just drop it in there. For VBS, for the kids' sake, it was the details were not included, right? But it's like, it's this from John 8, it's the adulterous woman story, right? So the kids are just told this woman that made a mistake, right, is brought by the religious leaders to Jesus. So sorry. Brought by the religious leader. It wouldn't be a Next Day podcast without me coughing.
Yeah.
To Jesus, and they are like, hey, she made this big mistake, and we've got to stone her to death because that's what our law says, right? Yeah. Like, shouldn't we have to?
All right, we got to fix it. Follow the law.
And I love that, so Jesus is just bends down and starts drawing in the sand.
Yeah, what is he drawing? What is that? It just says he's writing or drawing in the sand. I'd like to think he's drawing like a little kitty cat.
I don't know.
He's doing that S.
No, he's doing the S.
Whatever
thing.
that S thing.
Yeah. The Superman thing.
Well, not Superman. Whatever that doodle S with the three.
90s S thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't it look like Superman S? No. I used to call it the Superman S. Anyway, he's doodling something. I don't know. There's a lot of scholarship that just it's a guess. Nobody really knows what that might have been about. Yeah. But perhaps he's writing, scripture. Who knows?
I don't know.
Right? He's just writing the word forgiveness. I don't know. But so you have this image though of these men coming up, and they're just like gripping these stones, right? Like in their clenched fist. And that's just this image I have of again, that just holding on to something so tight, and they're holding on to these stones, and they're like, she deserves this, right? Yeah. I'm going to cast this judgment in the form of a stone, and I'm going to, that's what we're supposed to do. And then Jesus is like, well, anyone that hasn't sinned here, go ahead and throw the first stone. And of course, nobody qualifies. Mm. The thing that is really, really interesting though, about this story is that Jesus' statement there, the only person that does qualify is him.
I kind of wish Jesus were like, let me get it.
And he's the only, and this is this cool visual comparison, right? Is he even looking for a stone?
No.
He's drawing in the sand. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's literally drawing in this free-form substance that it's free. It's moving. It's it does not have to stay in this in this certain confined place and location, right? Like a stone does. So, I mean, I think that's such a cool visual. So as these men realize oh, I don't qualify, and they just kind of give up, right? And they let go. And I just love the the way this story shows that as they let go, as they unclench their fist, they are letting go of that judgment or resentment or bitterness or hatred or whatever, that they're holding on to. And they literally are dropping the weight of it. Mm-hmm. They're not burdened by it. And then they just walk away. And because of their, forgiveness of this that Jesus instructs them to do, now this woman has this very transformed life. There's no way she walks away from this and doesn't go I got a new lease on life. Yeah. And I didn't deserve this. She had experienced this mercy and this forgiveness that Jesus says nobody casted a stone to, at you.
Look around. Where are your accusers?
Yeah. And she's like, nope, they're all gone. And he said, I don't condemn you either then. Go and make better choices, right?
Yeah. And that's the main theme I had throughout mine is just about giving thanks to God for God's forgiveness, and it allows us to keep moving forward in life.
Yeah.
Because this is, I mean, sure, y'all could have condemned her, and I don't know what that would have fixed. She would have died, and I don't know what that fit. But instead, this moment seemed to be even more powerful to where she's probably going to have a new, like you said, a new view on life and all that. And that's what forgiveness can be.
Yeah. She's transformed. So,
It kind of reminds me of that concept of you don't forgive another person for them, you forgive them for yourself, because you are holding on to that, because it really does nothing for you.
Right.
And so a lot of people also don't forgive themselves for a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
And they're almost like waiting sometimes for other people to forgive them. But if that moment never comes, do you truly ever forgive yourself, though, too?
Right.
Like, it's important that we forgive other people for ourselves and that other people forgive themselves for whatever they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good therapist right there.
That's
a good therapy talk there.
Doctorate level psychology.
Thank you, Dr. Sable.
Yeah, that's a very simple, like, it's a foundational
Right, it's
piece
basic,
of it. It's
right?
very basic stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. But exactly. Like, I mean, and the thing is like, we make that choice because God gave us the ability to be forgiven.
Exactly.
Right. So we get to reflect that back.
Yeah.
So we give that back to others, even though like that woman may walk away from that and like, I believe transformed life. Like there's no way she doesn't like think about that.
Absolutely.
Would she fail again?
Possibly.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
we all do.
We all do, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe she fell into the throes of adultery again. Like we don't know and they don't know. But the thing is like that doesn't matter. Like we forgave because we were given the same kind of forgiveness.
Exactly.
We get to be unburdened by being concerned about the judgment because that's not our job. You know, our job is to forgive and to love and to show that kind of grace because that's what God showed to us.
Yeah.
And that was what I shared some stories last week about Central, and I shared one during my sermon, but there were other stories I didn't share in the sermon, just like because at Central UMC in Galveston, like I mean, I hope every church is doing this type of stuff, but like they just seem to have, they have like a whole thing set up for people who have come in there with addictions, and they help people through it. Now they're not a rehab, they're not that, but they do offer kind of a first steps kind of thing, and they offer assistance and they help medically and all this other
guide
things.
You to the next step. Yeah.
And so there's people who come in there like quite a bit, like, and they keep falling back in bad habits. They keep doing that. But then we hear some stories about people who have been tending there for years, and they finally just come up to Michael, their pastor, and just be like, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
I want to be finished. Like, so, but if for the first time they failed, and you're like, well, hey, we just can't have you around here anymore.
No.
Like,
It
now
not
he
linear.
does. Now they do say like they will, if someone's showing up and it's just not safe for them and it's not safe for others, then they will, turn them away, but gently, and just be like, hey, come back later. Like, or they do have cases of that.
Yeah.
But man, if they were to ever act harshly to somebody for something and they didn't come back, like that would, like they are a beacon.
That would change their life in the wrong direction.
Yeah,
right? Like,
exactly. And that was what I shared. I did share a story of, how we are continuing this ministry. And just like you were saying, Chrissy, like we need to be a place of forgiveness. We need to show that. And so whenever I had a friend in ministry and he was with a different denomination and he got a divorce, and then they fired him because of the divorce. Like, it wasn't because of job performance or anything. It was just because of that. And it was just like, well, dang, y'all. Like, this is the time where this person needs his church family the most. And y'all fire him. And if it's not about job performance or anything like that, it's like, it was just because, well, sorry, you sinned. Out you go. And it's kind of like, well, that doesn't really help the situation. And then when he did find a church that would welcome him in, and how much that meant to him. But yeah, so I shared that story, and also shared other stories of like, someone else at Central, and how he had former gang member, like violent crimes, and how he's a member of their church, and he'll share his testimony to people, how he regrets all the stuff he did, and we even saw pictures of him being baptized, and all that, and which was neat to see, because whenever we saw him, I'm guessing he dresses like this. He's just kind of whatever he wants, just free flowing, just fun, just whatever it is. But he was in a nice suit, and Michael even said, like, "Man, that was like the nicest I've ever seen you dressed up." Was for this baptism, right?
that's
in which
really
case,
cool.
he did share this story. Was when he went up there for his baptism for the church on Sunday. He said the last time he had ever been up in front of people, that large of a group of people, was at a sentencing hearing.
Oh my gosh.
Like he'd never been up in front of a group so to see that he'd go from court and doing
being condemned to
Right.
being like forgiven, like adopted into grace. I mean,
Embraced
that
like
is
that.
And
Yeah.
now he's there
beautiful.
helping people who are like, former gang members, and he's helping people who may be in gangs right now, and people who are recovering. And so he's able to be, he has those stories and experiences to help people through that.
I mean, I think about like people like that I'm like, man, the body of Christ needs people
Absolutely.
like that, because
Absolutely.
I wouldn't be able to minister to those people in the same way, like I have no background in history like that, but it's like Paul, right? Like Paul was able to minister to vast, like different groups of people, but he was a, Jewish man. So he could like go to the Jewish people and be like, and he was like against the Christians, right? And like he was totally against this movement of Christianity. So he's like, then was converted, right? So then he could go back to those people and be like, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry
about that.
And he's like, I'm the worst of the sinners. Like I'm the worst of them. And I like, so I know where you're coming from.
Yeah. And Sable, let's see, you're pretty good with lyrics, and I know, because I know you like this song. Was it a Casting Crown song or something that's just like, what, we could just be broken together?
Oh yeah.
And you like, it's a very lovely song.
Yeah.
And
I can't remember the lyrics of it, but
the whole theme is like, let's not try to come here and be perfect.
Yeah.
Why can't we just be broken together?
Yeah.
I love that.
And it's something along that lines, and it's just like, that's what we are as a church. We need to be loving and forgiving and all that to everybody together. And I mean, Jesus goes on to talk about like, don't accuse your brother and sister with you have a plank in your eye.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, it's just like y'all, like, we are all flawed, so let's not try to do a hierarchy of, well, I never did that. Well, I never did this. Like, let's not try to do that. Let's just see each other as like, what, we can all be a place of hope. We can all be a place of grace and forgiveness. And let's offer that. And you never know when someone's really needing that. Like I always wonder who's receiving communion that day that just they really need it. I know some people, we just kind of go through the routine of it, and as beautiful as it is, but you're just kind of like, okay, I got it this week and then next week or whatever. But like, I do wonder if someone's going through like, I need this. Yeah. Like this really, oh my gosh, like this matters.
Yeah.
And so you just don't really know what's going on in people's lives and all that.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed being able to preach this one. And I was able to say a goodbye and everything at the very beginning. And I did give you a shout out.
I'm gonna have to go listen.
I know.
My ears are burning.
But I do want to thank you, Christy, for because you kind of brought me in to be a part of more stuff. Because there really wasn't, I was doing student ministry stuff and still a local pastor. But other than that, like, I guess other than every now and then filling in everywhere, but I don't know if as Chrissy, you saw a good way to nurture, like help me in that way, or if you're just lazy, whichever one.
Yeah, it was.
But it was just like,
both.
Chad, come do communion. Chad, come do this.
It
Like,
was definitely a symbiotic relationship. I will say I'm gonna miss you.
Yeah.
And I remember when I first got licensed, which was like a year before you. I mean,
it wasn't too long. Yeah.
But when I was, that meant a lot to me that I was brought in and had those opportunities to preach and like do communion and stuff. It made me feel confident to, when the element, when they put me over there, I felt confident to go. Mm-hmm. And so that was important to me. And I thought, well, pass it on. Yeah. Just like forgiveness, we got to pass it on. So
But little did you know, it would eventually lead to Chad feeling so emboldened to be like, oh, I can accept
this.
I'll accept this other appointment.
Yeah, I know. I did this to myself. But
that's what you get.
But the element is just gonna not feel the same without you there.
No, Chris is way more fun than me, so
Chris is
he'll
great.
Be good.
I mean, we're gonna be, we're gonna go on and. We'll hit our next phase of the element, but I will always cherish these years of getting to serve with you.
Yeah. It's been good.
Yeah.
And Sable and I going to, we'll see how Bowling and Van Vleck handles me.
Oh,
And
gosh, that's going to be interesting.
if they handled Pat, Pat was in on
Yeah.
there for 2 months.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
if they could handle Pat, they can handle me. I
think so.
right?
Hey, Pat, you got any sermons I
Yeah.
can preach?
Well, here's this one about baseball, and
Oh,
here's this one about
gosh.
baseball, and here's this one.
This is a country
Yeah.
song,
Oh yeah, country
that's
song,
true.
yeah,
Country
and
song, yeah.
country song about baseball.
Ooh, yeah. There you go.
I guess for our last ministry shout out, I don't know. Let's just do St. Peter's. Just St. Peter's and as a whole has just been a great church. Has been a great place to work. Sable's been with me kind of throughout my entire ministry career, and I've always said this has been a place that I've enjoyed serving at all the places, but something about St. Peter's, I've been here for 8 years, which that's a testament right there.
Right.
But it's been the only place where it's they invited me in and they were just like, hey, we trust you. Now, sure, we would butt heads and sure there'll be disagreement. Not saying that didn't happen, but for the most part, Chad, I don't know, you do ministry, go. And I was able to do it. I didn't get the most, I was able to I had the freedom to try and do things. And then whenever the pandemic hit, all right, we just, that's one thing I love the most telling about people is student ministry never once stopped during the pandemic.
Yeah.
We just found new ways to meet. And and then soon after adult ministry started following us and then doing our ideas and all that. No, but,
no, I know. We did the pop-ups, this summer and Chad's like,
Yep.
oh, wow, what a concept. Y'all are going to do stuff during the summer.
Doing this for
Ooh.
years.
Oh.
adults
Wow.
we're
Doing
having
this
fun
for
with this. It's
decades.
Yeah. Right.
Fancy
No, there's
now.
a lot of opportunities to not remain stagnant, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But St. Peter's has just been this wonderful place. I love that traditional service, contemporary worship, our special needs service, our children's ministry has always been doing fun, creative, innovative things. We have the geezers here, which I talk about all the time. And there's just so many, the gathering and there's so many ministries here, they're just doing great and wonderful things.
I feel like you're going to go to Bowling and Van Vleck, and because of what you've experienced at St. Peter's, you are going to have an array of things to pull from, experiences to pull. And you've come from other churches too, so you get to put all of that together. But I think man, I hope they have the geezers at your new churches. That will be helpful too.
What if I started this group and y'all are now called the geezers? Well, Chad, what? Don't ask me.
Just accept
It's
it.
got to be self-named.
I know.
God's maintenance crew.
But St. Peter's, I thank everybody for the love and support over all the years. Through all the many different people on staff coming and going, and different pastors coming and going, and just we've had a big, a whole bunch of new people I've seen, and then I've talked with some of the new people saying, "Well, dang, I just got here 2 months ago, and now you're leaving." And it's but I really do get the sense that people love the community here, and I only pray that it just continues to be this, beacon of hope, this place that people know they can come to, and all that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So a big shout out to all of St. Peter's.
Thank you for taking such good care of him, of Chad, and of me when I've been here. And I really appreciate and see the growth in Chad. And it's really because of everybody at St. Peter's. It's because of you, Christy. It's because of your husband, Justin. It's because everybody that he's ever been asked to help with or be involved with, student ministry, children's ministry, across the board, just in all these different areas. Every time he's been, this has been a huge part of his growth. Each and every single portion of this church has been a huge factor in who he is today and what he'll do next. So I thank you guys so much for everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And there's
on behalf of the whole church, we thank you.
Yay! And I should have been telling everyone the biggest thing I'm looking forward to is no pumpkin patch.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
You're going to start
That's a
put
big
money on it.
change.
You're starting
Oh
one.
gosh, if I start one, I don't know.
Money on it.
All right, Chad, we heard you did this, so let's say
He literally will be doing that to himself then.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah.
You'll be doing that to yourself.
I'm going to send an anonymous letter
Oh,
to your
no.
SPRC and be like,
Why don't we have a pumpkin
Y'all
patch?
should have a pumpkin patch. And by the way, your new pastor is really
Very
good.
experienced.
He
Very
really loves
He
it.
loves
He
pumpkins.
loves.
Yeah.
No, but this has been a lot of fun, and the whole podcast thing has been again, that just kind of another fun, creative thing. I had these ideas for the podcast after I got licensed and became a local pastor, because I was like, well, I'm obviously doing ministry to students. Well, how do I reach out to everyone else? I'm not going to be preaching every Sunday or anything like that. So that's where the podcast came. Oh, here's something I could add and contribute in all this. So I just love that we've been able to do this, and so.
Yeah.
And then whenever Christy, I think you were kind of the one who started the ball rolling on the next day. I think you even came up with the title, believe it or not.
Did I? I think
yeah.
it was a joke.
Yeah, because there was this day, and then
Like,
there's
it'll
the
be the
next
next
day. So, but this has been a lot of fun. And, but yeah, thank you all, St. Peter's. And, well, I guess whenever if we see you, listen to older episodes.
Be seeing you.
Yeah. I don't know how to sign off here.
No, this is Chad and Christy.
Yeah.
Signing off.
Signing off. But goodbye, everybody.
See you later.
Yeah.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. All right, this is. Ooh,
Sorry.
this is Chad testing 1, 2, 3.
Christy testing 1, 2, 3.
Sable testing. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, that's a lovely voice.